Look, I know one of the biggest bonuses of a podcast is being able to skip through things you don't want to hear about, but I would encourage you just to sit tight for just a second, because as the war in Ukraine enters month 3, it's hard to believe it's been that long, and you watch all the stories of families being displaced and lives being shattered, and you think, man, that's really sad. I wish there was something I could do about it. Here's the cool thing. You and me and all the potties could get together and actually maybe make a difference by helping families in Ukraine who have been displaced by all this violence. There's nearly 11 million people that have been forced out of their homes. And imagine that. You can't take everything with you. You've got to just pick and choose the few things you can carry as you try to get your family to safety. They say desperate times calls for desperate measures. Well, these are desperate times. That's why the Wally Show is partnering with Food for the Poor and 3,500 pastors in Ukraine and surrounding countries to help feed these people. And here's what's really cool. You can provide a meal for 25 cents, a quarter what we plug into a gumball machine. You could actually feed a child a meal. So now do some math with me. Your gift of $1 would actually feed a family of 4. Your gift of $10 sends 40 meals. Your gift of $25 will feed 100 people who desperately need it. So while this is a really sad story on the world stage, it is really cool to see the difference that a few motivated potties could make. So text the word Wally to 91999. That's Wally, W-A-L-L-Y, to 91999, and we'll send you a link to make a difference today. Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast, all the stuff we did not get to during the course of the show today. I'm back from vacation, and it was a good vacation, but very, very tumultuous traveling. We kind of talked about this during the show and little glimpses, but good night, nurse. It was one of the most frustrating things, to the point where it literally makes me not want to travel again for a while.
Which says a lot.
Yeah, because I love traveling, but the airlines are just so messed up, and they're canceling flights right and left on people. It's a disaster. There's nothing that goes smoothly for anybody traveling anymore. And if you get a flight and it's only delayed by an hour and you at least made your flight, you're like, yes! Mm-hmm. And you're paying so much more for this privilege, and they're delivering so much less, that I'm honestly I'm done with them for a little bit. I want to go to Portugal next year, and I'll wait and see how the year goes. I literally am that disillusioned and that disappointed with the airline industry.
And I feel like we've only gotten a taste of how bad the traveling was for your vacation. I feel like you still have a few more things, a few more stories to share.
Yeah.
And so what I would love to do is have a live Aftercast tomorrow, and we talk about a few of these things. Maybe work through them, almost like a therapy session.
Yeah.
Live therapy.
We'll do a slippity slide show. We used to do this from time to time. We'd go on vacation and we'd share some photos and kind of tell the stories of it and stuff. Because it was, the thing was, it was a great trip. It was kind of a, 30-year anniversary trip. So I wanted it to be really cool, but the bag thing, Delta lost my bag, and then cared very little about it, and so so that overshadowed part of it, and I handled it so well. Again, we should have my wife on; she should be part of this, because she'll tell you she was so proud of me because I didn't yell at anybody. I was very calm. I was funny about it all, but then it was frustrating, and it kind of made me. There were hours I was spending on my vacation trying to track my bag down. Where when finally about 5 days in, I just realized it wasn't going to happen, and I gave up hope. And that's what I learned, is you're better off without hope. Yeah, that's what Delta taught me, was that hope is a bad thing. Hope is caustic, because it makes you think that good things can happen. And so that's what I learned. Thank you for that, Delta. Another thank you note.
Another thank you note. If you text the word Wally to 91979, we'll send you a link that will have a reminder about that Aftercast and when we're going live.
Yeah.
So that's Wally to 91979.
I'll try to share some of the fun things that we did and some of the stuff I learned.
Are there some fun things?
Yeah, that's the thing. I didn't let it overshadow the trip, but then again, I was wasting time. True story. We're in Pompeii, the city that was destroyed by a volcano, and pretty cool stuff they've excavated. And I've got my face buried in my phone trying to get a hold hold of Delta, then trying to get a hold of the ITA, and then trying to book my flights for the way home because there'd been a problem. And that's what I did while I was, the last hour of my tour in Pompeii was spent dealing with these knuckleheads. And so like but I had no choice. I had to, because if I didn't do it then, I wasn't going to get checked in. I actually had somebody from the U.S. have to check me in because ITA's website is so bad. They checked me in and then paid. They had them pay, and then I Venmo'd them just to get our seats together. I had to spend another $82. So here's a travel tip for you. Anytime airlines like Delta use a partner airline and they say we're all in the skies together, the partner airline, they don't talk. Their systems don't talk. So anything that happens on that next flight, whether it's ITA or KLM, you have to go through their airline, and Delta can't help you at all with it. And so you have to go through that airline that doesn't know or care about you, and they treat you very second class because of the way they do their systems. They don't let you book because you booked it through Delta. You can't do anything till the day before your trip. You can't see seats. You can't do anything. So then the day before you can do it. And a lot of times they'll make you not be able to even get your seats till an hour before the flight. And if you're traveling with someone, you want to sit with them. We had people on the boat that did not get to sit together, this husband and wife, because they didn't do their seat assignments till they got to the airport, and they didn't pay for it, and they were like, sorry, we don't have any seats together. You're just out of luck. It's so bad. Like,
Jeez. They're
charging you so much and treating you so badly. And I hate it. Like, I have the ability that if I wanted to, I could like go off on rants, and I could go off on them on socials and get some attention probably, but and I tried to be funny about it all, but you shouldn't have to do that to be treated well. Mm-hmm. Like, you shouldn't have to have a radio show, a television show. You shouldn't have to have something that gives you that thing for people just to treat you like a human being and do business well, and they're going to be the ones that are crying when people stop traveling, like, we're losing our jobs. Well, really, maybe you should have done them better. How about that? Ugh. Anyway, so there you go.
So good things happen?
No, not really. I think about it, you're right. There was nothing good on this trip.
You can't have hope.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. But the funny thing is, okay, here's the thing.
But here's the thing. It's a funny thing. Yeah. Here's the thing.
I was such a good sport during it. It's kind of like when I travel. Like,
oh, I see. Marty got the good side. Now we have to handle the bad
exactly.
side.
Well, now it's all coming to fruition. Because I thought by the time I get home, maybe I'll have my bag. No, now they're like, well, maybe 30 days, like if you get it at all. Ooh. And then I had to fill out an hour and a half worth of paperwork last night that they're still going to probably reject. So it's like. Like when I go to Africa, nothing functions right, but I expect it in Africa, because it is a third world. All the countries there, most of the countries there are kind of third world where we would go. So I was understandable, like, okay, it's fine. We'll just deal with it. It's not a big deal. But then when you come to the States where things are supposed to run better, it's super frustrating because, people just don't want to do their job. Like, they just want to say no. A great example. There was a guy in front of me at the Lost and Found line. He had flown on Arab Emirates. Arab Emirates called him and told him, hey, you left your wallet on this flight. You lost it. We found it. It's going to be at this Lost and Found at baggage claim 11. This guy shows up, waits in line with me for an hour to talk to this one lady. Well, yeah, this is all before my flights. I had to go back early to try and get my stuff figured out. So he's in line. He says, hey, he finally gets there. United Arab Emirates called and said, my wallet is here. No, it's not here. He said, but they called me and told me that it would be here today. And she's like, type. No, sorry, it's not here. And he's like, but how can that be? Here's my passport number. They told me it's here. Type. Then she gets up and then goes to the phone and calls somebody and goes, oh, okay, it's here. And they'll bring it to you. And like, if he had just accepted her first no because she didn't want to do her job, then he wouldn't have his wallet. For traveling, you need your ID. People don't understand this. It's so mind-boggling and frustrating, and they just don't care. And I know they're understaffed because during COVID, airlines didn't restaff back up to anticipate this next wave of travel. And so what they're doing is they're just like, well, you're hosed. We don't care, and so we'll get staffed up eventually, I guess. But now you're just going to have to take the hit in the meantime. Yeah. And the favorite thing, like I was getting texts, they were like, hey, good news, we made it to your gate early. Yeah, and then you broke my wife's bag. So you got there early, but you broke it. It's like...
I know. My roommate, she had gone recently on a trip and they had broken her bag, broke the wheel off.
Yeah.
And so she was told, well, if you drive up to the Nashville airport, drop it off, they will fix it for you. So we stand in line for probably an hour.
Yeah.
Get there. We have to pay for parking. We go in there and they're like, yeah, actually we can't fix that. You're not at the right place. Like you're going to have to fill out this form and do this. She does all of this and then they're like, yeah, we can't reimburse you for that $25 you spent on parking.
Yeah.
And you're like, where else was I supposed to park?
Right. This is
I don't know what to tell you.
Airport.
Here's a piece of paper you'll have to fill out and send it to get reimbursed for it. Is she really going to get reimbursed for it? And then she ended up just buying the wheel and doing it herself for $10 just because she didn't want to deal with them anymore.
That's what they do. They wait you out. It's like what insurance companies do because like you file a claim and they don't want to pay it. And so they just wait you out and they just frustrate you. And it's an endless loop of different things until you give up. I mean,
but
that's
in the
how
meantime, you need your luggage and they're not going to cover it because it wasn't that bad.
No.
What?
Yeah.
I'll make it bad.
Yeah. Crazy. Yeah. So anyway, here, let's get into some of the other stuff here.
Yay!
Surprise announcement from BTS last week. You know these guys.
See, maybe if you had been listening to BTS as all of this is going down, you would have been a little bit more.
Again, I was great on the cruise. I was happy. I'm like in the Mediterranean. Like I'm like,
now
I'm good.
You're here.
I know. I'm back, and now everything's making me mad again. So they had a surprise announcement that they are taking a break to focus on solo careers.
No.
I know, right? Yeah.
Why must it be so?
Solo careers. And they're like, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Everything's going to be okay, little teenage girls. We're not breaking up. We swear. We're just going to do some solo things. And I guess there's a Hybe or Hybe. I don't know how they say it, but that's the corporation behind the group. Like they have stock and they took a hit on their stock because of this announcement.
No.
Yeah, and it hasn't recovered yet.
No.
And then get this. You remember when Elvis had to enlist and he got drafted, I guess, in the army? Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Well, in South Korea, able-bodied young men have to enlist in the army for like a 2-year stint.
Yes.
And BTS is
that's what they're doing?
Gonna have to enlist in the army unless
what?
There's a thing that so they're required to do this, but there's a revised law that allows the K-pop stars, including BTS, the oldest members, and this guy Jin, to defer their military service until they're 30, which that would not be fun. Going into the military at 30, you're old enough to know better at that point, you know. If they've received government medals for heightening the country's cultural reputation, they can apply for a postponement, and all the BTS members meet those criteria. So they might not. You've got to get these government medals in essence to avoid the service in the military.
You know that there are also going to be little girls all around the world that are like, no, you can't send them off to war.
I know.
Like, okay.
Yeah, so good. Can you imagine, though, living in a place where it was compulsory to have to serve in the military? I respect our men and women that do, absolutely, but it's a choice.
So they all choose it.
They choose to do it, you know. And when I was in college, I thought I wanted to go into the ROTC and fly helicopters, but my eyesight was so bad and I'm colorblind that ruled me out. So for me, I was like, okay, I'm not going to do anything else with that. You know, I don't want to go in the military.
Chappy, no!
And so, but I can't even fathom living like Jerusalem, Israel. You also have to serve in the military as well. And this is South Korea. This is the good Korea, you know, that says you have to do this, which is crazy. I expect that out of North Korea, but South Korea, come on, man. And so, but they're trying to work around it for K-pop stars, which is so great.
How devastated are you on a scale of 1 to 5?
Million. I'm devastated. 1 million on this one. I don't want the.
Wait a minute.
I don't want the blonde-headed kid.
What are you more devastated over? The loss of your luggage or the BTS situation?
Oh, the BTS thing for sure. I can buy new skinny jeans.
But you can't buy a new BTS group.
But if I can't see that bleach blonde kid perform, then I'm going to be really sad the rest of my days. There's always one in the K-pop groups too. Like there's always the one kid that, like, the bleach blonde kid is like that's the K-pop version of the American bad boy. Like if you look at the old school, like whatchamacallit, boy bands, there's always the bad boy that had the tattoos.
AJ and
yes!
Backstreet Boys was the bad guy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if NSYNC had a bad boy.
They had one that tried. It was Chris. Like Chris was just the I need attention guy.
Yeah, but he sang the high parts, and I just don't feel like it could be wrong. It could be wrong of me to say.
It's not wrong at all. I know
but
where you're
I
going.
don't feel like the guy who sings the high parts should be the bad guy.
Absolutely not.
If anything, he should be singing the low part.
Absolutely. He's got to be the
main guy.
He's got to be the baritone. Or the one that all the ladies love. Absolutely. The high guy, no.
You notice you always go to the high parts.
I do.
When you sing.
I do. I always do that. Hey! Yeah. I don't know why that is. Because I'm the bad boy.
No, that's what we just said. You're not.
But it shouldn't be that way, but it is. If Chris was the bad boy. Or they're like the sensitive one. I think AJ was kind of a sensitive one, too. Like he's had a troubled past. You know?
Well, he's definitely been to rehab, so.
Oh, yeah. He had some issues coming out of that nonsense.
Yeah.
What do you got, Lady Rock?
Well, some more devastating news.
No!
Amber Heard, you know her in the downfall between her and her ex-husband now, Johnny Depp.
I know her as the lady that's helping fund another rich person's lifestyle.
They were in a defamation case against one another. And Amber Heard definitely came in at a loss to the point of owing Johnny Depp $8 million in defamation.
Who would have seen that coming?
Causes.
In a million years, I would not have pictured it to go that way.
Why?
Because
I could.
No.
I mean, if you watch some of it, she didn't have near as much proof.
Just in general, though, like if anyone's going to think wrongly of somebody, you're going to think it's the guy, he's the bad guy, and she was the girl victim.
Not if it's Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I know that's where it got a little right. But Johnny Depp's got some issues. He's got some edges.
Does. Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
He's culpable in this too. He's not clean of this.
Well, she still owes him $8 million, and the lawyers have already said he's probably never going to see that.
Oh, sure. They'll tie it up.
But recently, Amber Heard was spotted shopping at her local TJ Maxx.
No. Oh,
where
times have gotten hard.
Where the peasants shop.
You get the max for the minimum at TJ Maxx. When you just paid $8 million, what do? You shop at TJ Maxx.
I mean,
it's
a little
Amber.
embarrassing. You know, I'm all for TJ Maxx. I am a peasant.
I don't shop at TJ Maxx hardly at all.
Why?
Because they think they're better than everybody. They think they're better than Marshalls.
And
they're the same company.
Do you hear yourself?
Oh, I do. Absolutely, I hear myself. TJ Maxx has lost their mind. TJ Maxx used to be, you get the max for the minimum at TJ Maxx. Be a fashionista. When you go into TJ Maxx and you see like a jacket that's $500, you're like, what? Where am I? Am I in Bizarro World, TJ Maxx? Like, come on, man. You're supposed to be a discount clothier like Marshalls. My shirts that I get at Marshalls are like $12.99. Unless I'm filling out a Delta loss claim, they are $49.99. And that's the other thing that makes me mad. I didn't even hose them. I didn't even lie about stuff. I was honest about things. I honestly I didn't inflate the cost of things. And I'm still going to pay the price for it.
You know what though? What I need to remind you is, and this is what I was telling my roommate too. Don't you let them play you. You stand strong, no matter how long it takes.
Oh yeah.
You be that squeaky wheel.
I have to.
You're going to say, no, you owe me this money. You owe me this.
I mean, I need another supervisor. I'm going to see how high up I can go. I'm going to see if I can talk to the president of Delta. You know?
Don't you know that they have so many complaints? I would hate to work for that company and have to deal with all the complaints.
And I try to remember that, honestly. I try to remember that it's somebody that goes home to their family too, and so that's why I was really kind. But when you meet people that just... The ones that are kind to you, then it's easy. You're like, oh, okay, that's cool. I get it. Thanks. You made me feel a little better about never seeing my luggage again. And we shared a laugh. But then there are some that just were like, nah, they just didn't care. And so that's frustrating.
Oh, for sure. And I'm sure it is hard working in that.
Absolutely.
In that line of work. And
I couldn't do it.
It's almost like you would have to approach every new customer as a brand new person. Like that's the first person you're dealing with for that day.
Yes.
And that would be hard. If you have a hard time at home, like something's going on at home, or you didn't get enough sleep because you got a brand new baby or a brand new puppy keeping you up at night.
Yeah.
Like that would be tough.
I could not do that job. Like there are certain jobs I know I could go do and I could make better. Like because anywhere I go, if I'm working at Home Depot, I'm working in the pipe department, I'm gonna come up with better ways for us to do pipe, and I'm gonna work hard, and I'm gonna be the best pipe department guy they have. Like that's how I was raised. But like on customer service, I would be the worst customer service person because like I would like the minute you got attitude with me, I'd be like, oh, we're done here.
Yeah.
I had a guy. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Here's the thing.
Okay, so I had a guy that I was on the boat. We had just docked in Sicily, and so I'm paying to have my phone, working. I called the ITA baggage handling problem, and so I called the guy, and I wait for 30 minutes or so. Finally, he comes on. I get him on the phone, and we're talking, and I'm trying to figure this out, and he's not being very helpful. He's in, where was it? They're like, I forget the country. But anyway, so I'm talking with him, and he says, well, do you have anything else you need to say? And I said,
oh, buckle up, Buttercup.
So I said, this call is being recorded, correct? Because that's what they told me. So I said, yeah, I got something to say.
Oh, gosh.
And so then I started saying what I wanted to say. And then this guy pulled what everybody does when they don't want to talk to somebody. You're like, I'm sorry, I'm losing you. Sir? He did it.
He did
and
not.
we had never had a crackle on that phone line. And he goes, sir, I'm sorry, are you there? I cannot hear you. I go, you can hear me.
No, you did not.
I did. I said, you know you can hear me because this phone did not have 1 second of a problem up to this point until I said, are you recording this call? Sir, I'm sorry, I cannot hear what you're saying. I'm going to have to terminate this call. And he hung up.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
How livid were you?
On a scale of 1 to 10, a billion. So, I mean, yeah, that was part of my career. Yeah, when he pulled that nonsense, I about lost my mind.
That's rough. I saw on TikTok not that long ago, there's this woman who she makes TikTok videos of her being on a headset and she's in customer service.
Oh, yes, I've seen her. She's great.
Yeah, and so there's this one recent one where she is actually in a Burger King drive-through line or something, and she's like, ma'am, let me check on that. Hold on just a minute. And so you see her click the little button and she puts her on hold or whatever. And then she turns and she's like, yeah, I'd like the number 1 with the blah, 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 blah. And then they're like, okay, that'll be so-and-so, pull up to the front. And then she unmutes the phone. She's like, ma'am, I looked into that and it looks like we can't help you. I'm so sorry. Yeah. Like she's not even at work. She's not even looking. Yeah. And who knows if she was faking it or not. But I bet there's some people that feel that way or have done that before. It is frustrating, and I think it would be hard if you're doing your job, you're trying to be ethical, and then the other people that in your line of work that you have to depend on aren't being ethical or even pulling their weight. It would be hard to keep your motivation up. What? You're looking at your phone. What happened?
My wife texted me. We were supposed to pick up her car today. Mm-hmm. I don't know if we talked about that. We talked about it on the show. Did we talk about that a little bit today on the Aftercast? I don't remember.
I don't think so.
So we're like, oh, yeah. So we'll be there to pick it up today. Banks are closed today for Juneteenth. I didn't realize that. Because Juneteenth was yesterday, and it's a national holiday.
National celebration.
So
what does that mean?
Today.
You guys can't
I can't go get the check.
So you can't get the car.
I can't go get the car today. So... I mean, now again, when you know what Juneteenth is, this is a small problem, but it's just another annoyance today for me, okay? Oh, chinkies.
And does that mean that the luggage claim area of the airport isn't working as well?
Oh, yeah, they're not going to be working now, so...
Why are we even here?
I don't even know. So, oh boy. Yep. Okay. Anyway, hey, you want to do some birthdays?
Welcome back, man.
Great. I just want to leave again.
Get back on another boat.
Yeah.
He's only even done one show.
I don't even want to come. Yeah. I don't want to. I don't want to live here anymore.
America's the worst.
It is.
Oh gosh. Okay.
Birthdays. Yeah, come and get them.
Abigail, she wants to wish her younger brother Azaria. Not sure. A happy birthday. It's his 11th birthday. One of my favorite things to do is watch him pretend he is a dog and run on all fours and jump over furniture. Sounds like something Wally would still do at 53.
Absolutely.
Question is, did you ever have a bully in school? If so, what is the meanest thing he or she did to you?
A really bad wedgie and hung from the chain outside the gym doors by my underwear. So, yes. And just praying for them to rip because it's not, it does not feel good. Yeah.
That stinks.
Yeah. I came from a wedgie culture, apparently. Like, in my day, like, there's a lot of bullying today, and it's bad, like the cyberbullying and stuff like that. In my day, it was always wedgies. I don't know what weird, like, fascination we had with this, but, I mean, I got wedgied on a baseball bus one time, passed to the back, wedgied till my underwear came off. Like, that wasn't fun. We even had, what's his name, write a song about it. Jordan St. Cyr.
It came off?
Oh, it came off.
You mean like it fully ripped
off? Oh yeah, and then was hung out in the bus. Oh yeah, we have a song by Jordan St. Cyr that he did a journal song for me based on that. Oh good, Gavin just found it. This is the journal song that we had Jordan St. Cyr do. I was at church too, by the way, and I'm like, gosh, I had my head down, and I'm like, man, that voice sounds so familiar. Remember how Jordan said he goes to our church?
Go there.
Yeah, he was actually leading worship and just crushing
No
it.
way.
You're like, oh, that's a pro. Like he's like so good, and like, oh, that's Jordan. I hope he'll do this song next time he's up there.
I remember what they told me. Don't be scared or uneasy. All your stuff's in the back. Hurry up, don't you make a scene.
All true.
I remember how they grabbed me. Got my waistband completely. So I started shouting, help, help, coach, I am getting wedgie. That's about right. My pants went up higher as the wedgie went deep. My underwear ripped off and I could barely breathe. When the bus reached the school grounds, yes, the school grounds, it was there for all to see. My underwear flying from the back of bus 3.
Oh, my eyes are watering. It takes me back. But in high school fun. Were you ever
I would have
bullied,
loved
Rock,
to have seen that.
by like a mean girl?
I just had that one incident. I think I've talked about it before, but really, I'm sure bullying did happen, but there weren't that many kids in my school. And so...
Yeah, to save time, they're like, just bully yourself.
Yeah.
Oh.
I just felt like I got along with everybody.
Yeah.
It wasn't really a hard time for me.
That's good.
The closest thing that I ever came to was I've always been a tomboy. And so my best friend at the time in 6th grade, she said that I look like a boy. And it made me cry.
Aw.
She was probably true,
Aw.
but still.
But you were better looking than her, though, so you got that going for you. You know it's true.
At the time, no, she had all the boyfriends and I had none.
Oof. Really?
I had none. Well, and now she's married with 4 kids and I still have none. So maybe she's got a point.
Maybe she was right.
No.
Gavin, did you get bullied?
Not a lot of straight up, like what people would see as bullying.
Yeah.
There was one guy, though, who challenged me. He's like, let's just do this. You punch me as hard as you can, and then I'll punch you as hard as I can. And, you know, I'm like 5'4",
Yeah.
maybe at the time. He's like 6'1".
Oh, jeez.
Lineman on the football team.
Yeah.
And I think he was my friend, too. But, like,
You got a frenemy.
yeah, I geared up, smacked him on the arm. I was like, wow, he was like, that was better than I expected.
Yeah.
He didn't move. And then he reeled up and probably, like, I was probably on the ground for 10 seconds afterwards.
On the arm?
Oh, yeah.
It wasn't the face?
Well, no.
I don't know.
That would have been way worse.
How old were you?
I was like a freshman in high school.
What'd y'all get in a fight over?
Nothing. That was literally it, though. It was a challenge because he knew that my punch wouldn't be as bad, and he just wanted to show that.
Like, he hit him in the shoulder, and he just
straight
goes,
up bullying.
Yeah.
No, but it was embarrassing.
You weren't like, because you switched so many high schools, like, so kids didn't pick on you.
They didn't have time to.
And you had that donut. The butt donut.
Yeah, and
pretty good at hiding that.
And that red hair, like how do you not get
Still have all these things.
There's so much material.
Yeah,
You
I
needed to
don't
go to my
understand.
school.
Oh yeah, I
had a wedgie with your name on it.
It's fun. I'll watch certain. Would you give me a wedge? No, you're my same height.
We're the same height.
It wouldn't
yeah.
have worked.
It's been hard. It's like
No.
Yeah.
I was always just like too new. Like people didn't have time to get to know me.
You're like, someone wedgie me, please. I want to be part of the club.
I want to have the
wanna be
authentic
like-
high school experience.
I want to be seen.
Not like that though.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny.
I have a wedgie on my name.
I think it's harder for kids today. Like I think the bullying turned a corner and got super.
Because you can't leave it when you leave school. Like it follows you home.
Yeah, and
Because
like
of social media.
And again, it was a different time. Like when I was a kid, like you'd go to football games, and then somebody would be, you'd settle a score at the football game, in the parking lot, and you'd have like a miniature fist fight wrestling kind of, thing, tussle, and everybody just mouthing off. And now people show up with guns. Like it's just a way different time. Like the only thing you had to worry about was being embarrassed or like getting punched and like, I got punched, and it's like it's not the end of the world.
Or getting what is it where they stick your head in the toilet?
A swirly. Yeah, swirly. That's happened.
And it's not like kids enjoyed those things back in the day.
No, it's still not fun.
No. In general, it felt like you could get past things, though.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's because, I don't know, if parents were more supportive. These days, I think most of the time, I don't think parents know anything about what their kids are dealing with.
No.
And because kids aren't going to say anything or because it's online and they can't tell that it's that bad.
And as a kid too, like it was worse because you didn't want your parents to fight your battles for you. But unfortunately now, because the way things have escalated, you almost have to have somebody stepping in and stopping some of the lunacy when it gets super real, And yeah, it's a different time. Honestly, I really do believe that. Well. Welcome me back.
Oh, good
Happy times.
guys. Good times.
I know. I don't know what I bring out in people.
If it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen to you.
I know. I need to look at my life better and my choices better.
And on that note, thanks so much for being a potty.